So, well, we'll start with the Cardinals as Kyler Murray, I thought, looked great. 21 of 31, 162 yards. He had one touchdown to Michael Wilson. He also led the team in rushing. That's not good with 57. James Conner had 50 and a score for the Birds. Marvin Harrison, he was a threat. One catch for 4 yards in his debut. We're going to get into a lot of that. Rudy Carpenter will discuss the Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. connection and what it's going to take to get these guys going. But, my biggest takeaway watching that game was I thought I was watching a Mid-American Conference football team playing a Big Ten football team in the first half, where the MAC school is playing tough. They're scoring some points. You saw that a couple games this weekend in college.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Where some of these teams played well, but then once halftime hits, then the
reality sits
in, and then there's the Big Ten, and they start rolling, and that's what we saw. If it wasn't for the run back for the touchdown on the kickoff, it could have gotten really ugly. And not to mention some questionable calls, non-calls throughout the game on both sides. The game could have been way out of hand.
And a drop by Michael Wilson there on that last drive. Got to make that catch. Even though that ball is to Greg Dortch at the very end of the game, 4th down and 7. It's a questionable throw. It's kind of a 50-50 throw on 4th and 7. Why not take the underneath throw just to get your first down and move on from there? 3rd down and 10, you run a draw play? Really? 50 seconds left to go in the game? You got to throw the football there. But, in all fairness, you're right, Rock. That was a tale of two halves. I watched that second half and said one team adjusted. The other team did not adjust to the adjustments.
There you go.
If you
That's
will.
What I saw.
And you saw all of a sudden Josh Allen goes, this is ridiculous. Here we are down 17-3 at halftime. They get 24 unanswered points, and you're right, Rock, because if they don't get that kickoff return, it's 34-20, ends up 34-21. They get the 2-point conversion. But, you come out, what they went to Connor, James Conner, 35 the first 42 plays, play after play after play. Hey, Drew, we get it. Very successful drive. But, yeah, just really the tale of two halves for this team not to come out and adjust to the adjustments. And all of a sudden, this pressure that they're putting on Kyler Murray. And then Kyler Murray, he went shotgun, I think, pretty much the entire second half versus being under center quite a bit of the first half. And then the time of possession was just very glaring in that second half as well, too. And then, guys, we talked about, you try to contain Josh Allen and prevent big plays. Well, when a guy hurdles your top defensive player, goes in for a touchdown, that's tough to defend that.
Hello, Buddha.
But I think that one of the other things, too, is when he made those throws into the wind, folks, that wind about 25, 30 mile an hour, straight stiff wind, very difficult to throw in that state when you throw into the wind. So you got to give credit for the Bills to come back, make the adjustment, and then make the plays when they had to make the plays.
All right, Mr. Quarterback, you have to answer me this question. I was dying to get here and talk to you about this on the show. So you go and spend the number 4 draft pick, and he only gets 4 looks. That's it? He is supposed to be your stud boy as a wide receiver, and he got nothing. So, because I'm watching it on television, you can't see the coverage all the time. Manuch, when you looked at it, could you tell? Were they doubling him most of the time? And that's why Marvin Harrison did not see the football or not?
Well, they only targeted him 3 times.
Yeah.
And he dropped the 1 hook route. He had the 1 4-yard catch. To answer, you hear about, okay, they had cloud coverage. They were bracketing him inside. There are routes you can call because of that.
Okay.
You can run dig routes. The 1 hook route that he dropped, he was open there. So there's certain routes you can design for him and Michael Wilson, your other receiver. And you think of Michael Wilson, stop and think about it. He only had 2 targets.
Yep.
Your 2 outside guys. Greg Dortch, your inside guy, okay, solid receiver. He was targeted 8 times. Trey McBride targeted 9 times, only 5 catches.
I understand McBride.
But here's the thing. There are designated play cloud coverage. You got a safeties deep, corners inside. They might be inside, outside to bracket him. You might have a linebacker that might cheat out there to protect anything coming across the middle. There's routes that you have designed. I just think it was bad play calling in order to designate him to get him involved in the game. I don't know. How about a reverse? How about maybe a smoke screen or a bubble screen? The 2 smoke screens that the bubble screen that Buffalo scored on.
Yes.
Got it outside to his guy.
They did.
I mean, how about just a smoke screen outside? Just get the ball in the kid's hand.
Yeah.
Just throw it to him. But the double bracket, the bracket or
3.
cloud coverage, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
There are designated routes. And I thought the hook route, great. Got it to him. the wind at his back. The other thing is, I think Murray, like the one touchdown catch he had to Michael Wilson when he rolled out, he threw that ball in the end zone on the scramble.
Mhm.
Well, if you notice, that ball didn't come out of his hands like he used to. Got held up in the wind a little bit. Defensive back almost got it. So to answer your question, Jimmy, there are routes when you have that kind of coverage where you get the ball to your top wide receiver.
Why the hell then didn't they make those adjustments at halftime?
Well, that's on Drew Petzing. A lot of questions for him as the offensive coordinator for this Cardinals team. And I'm thinking, run some dig routes. That's like 15 and in.
Yes.
Run some hook routes. Run some slants, even if you got bracket coverage. He can run a fade. There's a lot of things I felt in watching that offense they could have done to designate and really make him the number one receiver and then come off of him if you don't quite see. But you got to call certain routes to beat that kind of coverage. Anything inside on double coverage, the guy deep, two guys deep, cloud, whatever, anything inside is going to be successful. You can't throw outside with that kind of coverage.
To me, Manuch, the Bills won the game at halftime just because of what you just referenced, what they did on offense, changing up their concept, and what the Cardinals didn't do offensively to change up their concept.
Well, and I think that score at the end of the first half by Buffalo was huge.
It was huge.
I mean, that was big. All of a sudden, you're 17-10 at halftime,
right. Yep.
And they got the momentum going their way. And I think Josh Allen was like, okay, enough's enough. And then they made some more adjustments at halftime to prevent their offense from virtually doing anything. No touchdowns in the second half. Got a field goal, but no touchdowns at all in the second half.
One more headline. We got to give some love to ASU.
Yes.
Celebrating their first ever win over an SEC team as they beat Mississippi State 30-23.